Good morning and Merry Christmas. I'm Kevin Hay, pastor of Middletown Presbyterian Church. Last night at our Christmas Eve service, we celebrated the gift of Christmas as we gathered together in worship. As we lit candles while singing Silent Night and Joy to the World, the light that shines in the darkness, God with us, entered each of our hearts. Today, while we are not gathering in person for worship, with hymns and scripture and a sermon, that light, God with us, is still with us. But it's not in the gifts or decorations or food. It's in each one of us, in a smile, a hug, laughter, moments of joy. So as we spend time together with family and friends today and in the coming days, I invite us all to look for that light in each other, to look for the light of Christ, God with us in one another. Now I'd like to share a reading from John 1, reminding us of that light, along with a poem by Jan Richardson titled, Where the Light Begins. From John chapter 1, In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. The true light which enlightens everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him. Yet the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, as his own people did not accept him. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God, who were born not of blood or of the will of the flesh or of the will of the man, but God. And the Word became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. And now a blessing for Christmas by Jan Richardson entitled, Where the Light Begins. Perhaps it does not begin. Perhaps it is always. Perhaps it takes a lifetime to open our eyes, to learn to see what has forever shimmered in front of us. The luminous line of the map in the dark. The vigil flame in the house of the heart. The love so searing we cannot keep from singing, from crying out in testimony and praise. Perhaps this day will be the mountain over which the dawn breaks. Perhaps we will turn our face toward it, toward what has been always. Perhaps our eyes will finally open in ancient recognition, willingly dazzled, illuminated at last. Perhaps this day, the light begins in us. Friends, on this day, as we look around at family members and friends sharing the gift of Christmas, God with us, as we see them light up, full of Christ's light and love, perhaps this day, the light begins with us. Merry Christmas.